Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chelsea Explain, as this is another Chelsea transfer news video, and in today's video the focus is around talking about outgoings in terms of player sales and some players going out on loan, and we're gonna have a discussion around some of these guys. And the first player that is going to be offloaded is Veiga, who we bought from Basel last summer. The first story is coming from Fabrizio Romano. Atletico Madrid and Chelsea start club-to-club talks today for Veiga. Renato has said yes and wants to join Atleti, and first bid will follow, while Chelsea will insist on a 40 million euro package. I think we bought Veiga for like 15 million, so we're gonna make the double profit even more in case Atletico will be willing to pay that sort of money. Veiga has almost agreed personal terms with Atleti and is very keen on the move. It depends on the agreement with Chelsea. If a move to Atletico does not work out, other teams are in the mix. Atletico have been in for Veiga for days and have placed him high on the short list as revealed. So maybe we can get into some sort of bidding war if he has interest from the likes of Atletico Madrid, Bayern, maybe Juventus going in again. He's a young guy with potential, versatile, has international experience already at this age. I see the potential that a lot of teams is going to come in and be interested for him, and we could make some profit for it. It's important that if we're now selling Veiga, who could have been centre back option or left back option, it's important we're getting a player that can rotate with Cucurella, because we barely have any player that he can rotate with unless it's Gusto playing on the opposite side. Alright, let's move on to the second player. We got some updates around Raheem Sterling, both from the Sun and the Athletic, and he is also a player that we need to desperately offload since not suiting Maresca's style of play. He's been on a decline. He's not the same player as he was at City for many reasons, but it would be necessary to offload him even if we're making a loss, which we probably will, as the Sun has revealed here. Chelsea hope to sell Sterling for around £20 million and recouping some of the 47.5 million that we paid Manchester City 3 years ago. It was a signing that didn't work out. It's important we're offloading players that Maresca doesn't need and that isn't good enough for taking us where we need to be. The Athletic has mentioned also a Champions League club in Europe is interested in the 30-year-old. Now, what type of Champions League club could that be? I don't know. Definitely a club that's looking for experience. Maybe Sterling has still something in his tank, maybe has still something to prove a point. It's just valued at £20 million, so it's pretty cheap fee for Sterling. The question is then, who is willing to pay his high wages? Can another Champions League club do that? I mean, worst case scenario is that we still keep him and we have to loan him out and we have to pay his wages. So this is a sign we can learn from that. We have to buy players that suits a manager. And I can understand that you shouldn't just splash out high amount of wages on players that doesn't deserve it, because Sterling was someone that didn't really deserve it. He isn't that superstar of a player. He hasn't been clinical when he has had chances in front of him. He's also someone that makes the wrong decision in certain moments. When he should make a pass to a teammate who is in obvious better position, he takes a dribble, lose possession, or takes a shot and misses the goal completely. He's someone that is not going to get better either, so it's better to offload him. I can also say it's not the only Sterling's fault. I mean, we had multiple changes of managers, players. He has played so many different roles. That's just not sustainable for most of the players. When you're chopping and changing every year, that's gonna impact most players and they're gonna find inconsistency. The third player we're gonna talk about is Mr. João Felix, another player we are wasting money and time on. The Athletic is mentioning that João Felix is subject of talks from one large club in Portugal, which a source from Portugal has confirmed it's Benfica, who is interested in the former player and is discussing with Chelsea. There are also a few other Saudi Pro League clubs that is also keen on Felix. Chelsea want around 50 million euros, which should be around 45 million pounds, including add-ons. We're trying to make as much money as we can back from these players that hasn't worked out and that was never necessary to purchase. We need the players with strong determination, professional attitude, work ethic, someone that suits Maresca, which he doesn't do. I think João Felix needs to play in a possession-based system where he is the sort of main guy, where you're building a team around. He's another player that we have wasted money and time on. He was never necessary to buy from the beginning because we only wanted to offload Gallagher. Our owners was so desperate to offload Gallagher and earn profit that they did whatever they could to sell him. That meant we were forced to buy João Felix because we fumbled the summer Omerodion deal. This is the type of signings we shouldn't make. Maresca was forced then to not play him. He didn't play him. He wanted to tell the directors and owners, listen, I can't play these players that I haven't asked for and doesn't suit me. You're gonna have to offload them, and that's the right thing you should do as a manager. We as a club is going now in the right direction, but we have wasted so much time and money on players. We have wasted 1-2 years into this project. Imagine if we did the right recruitment from the beginning. Imagine where we would have been now. I think both Sterling and João Felix got mentality issues. They're not consistent enough. They're not decisive enough in the final third as you need to be at the top club. João Felix doesn't have a defined position. He's rather making flicks than passing to a teammate. And they both go missing sometimes. Sterling had better work ethic, I feel like. Helped more defensively wise. João Felix didn't do much. And in today's football climate, especially in the Premier League, you need every player in your team to work hard and press. Otherwise, you're not going to survive. Otherwise, you're not going to reach the top and win the likes of Premier League and Champions League. It has also been a problem, as I talked about, with chopping and changing managers. There is no consistency for the players. They're being utilized in maybe roles or position they can't execute in. Not that I think João Felix and Sterling has been utilized to some level, that suits them. I feel more for Nkunku, but because he has actually been playing as a striker, which is not his best role whatsoever. Directors and board, we cannot make these mistakes. I see we're doing the right thing now. Now we're actually buying players that suits Maresca, and that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to have a fair and real collaboration with the manager. I think it's really an understatement how important recruitment is. As I'm saying, recruitment is king. Last 3 players we just briefly gonna touch about is some outgoings to Strasbourg. We have Penders, Kendry Payas and Sar going on a loan to Strasbourg so they can get consistent game time, and we can see what they're all about in League 1 if they're performing there. We have Liam Rossinier, who plays a similar setup to Maresca. It's a bit different, but it's similar in terms of maybe roles and formation. And they're not gonna get the consistent game time here, and it's about the getting a loan move and play in the French league, and it's a nice step for them to gain game time. And as I said, we get to see what they're all about. If they're not performing or for whatever reason, we could look to sell them to gain profit, because we can't forget that the owners is also looking to make profit on player sale. Hope they're gonna deliver and getting back to Chelsea and getting game time and have a role under Maresca. So we see what the future will hold for them. So let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will happily read it. And if you're brand new here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my page, hit that notification bell, Chelsea Explain is out. Peace.